Signs he is a gentleman, Part 1. He uses the word fantastic. He says things like, good evening. All green flags, all signs that he's a gentleman, also probably a sign that he's over the age of 50, but that's okay, okay? It's totally okay. That's so young.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will see how women complain that men no longer help them, that chivalry is dead, and they also wonder why men prefer solitude over being in a romantic relationship with a woman. We want to invite you to smash that like button and help us reach 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year to get our first plaque. That's the only contribution we ask from you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Share your experiences in the comments for any man who needs it. Without further introduction, let's get started.
If you have ever wondered why it's so hard to maintain a happy long-term relationship, one of the many reasons is that no one wants you to. Let me show you an example. All right, we got a simple video here of a wife hugging her husband before he leaves for work with a pretty simple message. It says, "I want to be a wife my husband is glad to come home to, and sorry to leave." Nothing harmful. She's dressed like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, but it's not hurting anybody. Now I'm going to scroll through the comment section without skipping anything. And that, dear boys and girls, is called a toxic relationship. And he probably cheats on her all the time. Yep, this is dramatized and pathetic. We no longer live in a society that can support two people, much less two people with children on an average income. No man wants a woman who just plays dress up all day and can't support herself. Imagine if instead of telling him about the baking that happened today or how much laundry you did, you changed out of the flowy skirt, contributed to the financial pot so he doesn't have to work crazy hours, and then you'd actually have lots to tell each other when you both came home at the end of each day. To which she tries to defend herself, says they already have lots to talk about, and he owns his own business, so he makes his own hours. But they don't care. You're the one who makes him leave. If you worked, he wouldn't have to work so many hours. What's up with all these homely stay-at-home wives lately? I don't want to see this crap. He's off to the strip club after work. Did she like club a family of baby seals somewhere in that video and I missed it? The irony is not lost on me that they hate so much that all she did was say that she wants to be a good wife to her man, that they're now going to blame her for the choices that this man made with his own autonomy. That's right, men hold all the power until a woman willfully chooses to be nice to him, and then she's taking advantage of him. Y'all are so unhinged in your single and lonely rage you can't even pick a lane. Let women love their men, you weirdos.
Oh my God! Wow!
It is well known, men, that happiness is contagious, but so is misery. This that we see here is one of the main reasons for divorce in the United States. When your woman has many single friends giving her poisonous advice about her relationship, it is well known that the worst enemy of a woman is another woman. That's why you see couples trying to keep their relationship as private as possible, not commenting on what happens at home to their friends. Because for your relationship to last, the first thing is to learn to wash your dirty laundry at home. Many women have divorced mothers, friends, or sisters, and these women think that this is their support group and tell them everything that happens in their relationship. The problem is that these women tend to harbor hatred towards men and will give the worst possible advice. That's why when you have a small problem with your woman, it becomes immense, and you find yourself fighting for months. You don't know how the issue escalated so much, but it's because there's a friend behind it telling her to leave you or divorce you because she'll be happier. Sometimes, they're the first ones to encourage your wife to cheat by introducing her to other men. So, brothers, watch who your woman associates with because misery loves company.
But I was struggling to bring my TV, fit it into my car. It was in a big box. It's a 55-inch. It could barely fit into this car. I'm sitting out here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me.
You see, there's a reason for that. Decades ago, you wouldn't have needed help. The men would have done it for you. The thing is, the world has changed. Women have changed. Now, see, something I tend to do a lot. I tend to imagine, what if I was a man? What would I be doing today? Would I help women? Truthfully, when I think about it, no, absolutely not. Even if my instinct as a man is leaning toward chivalry, I'm not going to help. There's a number of reasons for that. A lot of times, when men are doing nothing wrong, they end up on the internet because the wind blew something into their eye and they might have winked and someone filmed it. And then you end up on TikTok as some kind of perv because you were winking at a woman. And what if she was 17 years old and you helped her? And then you end up on the internet as some kind of creep pursuing young girls. It's just too dangerous. There are cameras out here. People are filming things with duplicitous intent. You don't know when you're going to be the next viral sensation. You don't know when you're the next guy getting your life ruined. You don't know when a woman is going to lash out at you because you might be helping her and she takes offense in that. If I was a man, I would not deal with this. Why would any man in his right mind help a modern woman? They're strong, they're aggressive, they call themselves equal, they say they can do anything that a man can do. Why do you need a man's help? Just do it. Get your girls. Women want men to be old-fashioned, but women don't want to be old-fashioned. They just want the best parts of what men can offer without giving the best parts of themselves.
Who can?
When you have a privilege, you don't value it, and it gets lost. You got tired of insulting us just for wanting to open the door for you, recording us and calling us perverts for simply helping you at the gym, insulting us before saying a single word just because we approached. You killed chivalry. Men understood the message. You don't need us. You are strong and independent. So do your things yourself because you no longer deserve our help. No man wants to be accused of harassment for just trying to be polite. Who knows if he helps you, and then you say something is missing from your vehicle. No one wants to take that risk. You want equality, so do it yourself.
It took an older man to come and see me struggling. He came out and helped me take the TV out of the box. They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men because there are good men out there, but it's such a rare thing. It took an older man to do that.
Of course it took a 70 or 80-year-old man because he's not on social media. He doesn't see what's going on out here. He's from a different generation where women were actually beautiful. And he still believes that women are beautiful. I used to believe women were beautiful, but not anymore. Because I'm here on social media. I see what's happening on the streets. I see what's happening to men when they try to be chivalrous and kind. Sometimes it's appreciated. Oftentimes it's not. So a man has to ask himself in that moment, which risk does he want to take? Will this be a good outcome or will this be a negative outcome? A man doesn't know, so he backs away. You can't blame them for that.
We got to go back to the drawing board.
Yes, we do need to go back to the drawing board, but not in regard to men, in regard to women. Women need to go back to the drawing board. Do you realize you do need help with things, don't you? You do want them to do things, don't you? Why are they not doing it? Is it because maybe you're not doing something? Or it could be because you are doing something. You're doing too much. You're going against the very thing that you actually want. Women today primarily offer men frustration and even agony. So instead of coming online and giving a whole lecture on what men need to be doing, maybe you should go online and talk to women about what we should be doing. Because I don't hear any of that.
As a woman, like, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore.
That's right. Again, if I was a man, why would I hold a door? So a woman can curse me out, yell at me, tell me she doesn't need my help? This is what men are actually experiencing. The issue with women is they refuse to look at themselves ever. They see men changing toward us without realizing that we're causing the change that we're complaining about. And even as a woman myself, it does impact me. Men are not as chivalrous to me anymore. But the thing is, men don't know the difference. They don't know which woman is safe and which woman is not. We're not walking around with t-shirts that say, hey, I'm safe, I'm old school. Men don't know the difference, so they have to beware of all of us. They have to treat all of us as if we're raging radical feminists, because how can men tell the difference? It's not safe out there for them. So any complaints that you have, take it up with the girlies.
Exactly. That man probably doesn't even know what TikTok is, and you confirmed what this woman is saying. As soon as you got into your car, you took out your camera and started complaining about men. Imagine what would have happened if it were a young man. He would have recorded a video saying, "I was putting my TV into my car, and a creepy man tried to come help me to take advantage and start flirting with me, but I immediately got that pervert away from me." Just look at your first action. It was to go on TikTok and record a video. Men are not stupid anymore. They are not taking that risk.
Why are men not men anymore? For the past 48 hours, I disassembled a bed, carried it to my car, all the parts, by the way, carried a vanity to my car, loaded it in the car, then drove to the storage unit to help my friend unpack everything, to get it on a gurney, to take the gurney up to the elevator, to take the elevator up to the 4th floor, just to get it to a storage unit, and then have to lift it up again and take it back into the motherfucking storage unit, just to come back down to my car, just to go 5 minutes away, just to load back everything up in my car again. And you mean to tell me, out of the 5 million niggas that I called, and collectively out of me and my friend, that not one of them could come and help me carry a motherfucking mattress?
Genuine question, why is it that so many women think that they're entitled to a man's labor just because he's a man? It's the same way that y'all think that you're entitled to a relationship after you sleep with a man. Or the way that when you're in a marriage, you think that men are responsible for household labor and whatever bullshit psychology that you want to call it nowadays, even though you agreed by contract to be a stay-at-home mom. But I digress. These men do not owe you shit. Literally none. And where are your fathers to help in moving situations, or friends that actually give a shit about you rather than random dudes? But also, women have spent the last decade saying that they don't need a man and men aren't shit and you can do it all by yourself. Y'all got money. You guys are making your own money, so hire a moving company. Which, by the way, is still men. Some of y'all treat men so shitty, but then you still expect them to turn around and be there for you. And that's just not how the world works. And it's a woman's sense of entitlement that makes her think that just because she's friends with a man, that means he owes her his labor. Which also isn't how it works. Because when was the last time these women helped men in any capacity? You get exactly what you give. Y'all chose the bear for months, and this is the consequences of your own actions. But additionally, you don't get to pick and choose when equality best suits you. Y'all wanted equality, so I guess now you gotta figure it out. Okay, bye.
It's that women are told they deserve it. That's what modern feminism is about, where they only have to receive because they are women. Besides, when have you seen a man who loves to do free work? If a man had gone, she would have made him take apart the bed, carry it down, move it to the new building, and install it. After he finishes, she would close the door in his face with a thanks. 3 hours later, Chad shows up, a man who brings nothing to the table but his seed. He comes to the apartment to lie on the bed with her, to see if the simp friend installed it well for him to have action that night. If she's not your wife, girlfriend, or a woman who gives you benefits, you don't owe her anything. Let her experience her own equality. Stop being the simps for these types of women.
A third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
You know, I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk everything you have Would you risk your children and having access to them, knowing you only had a 25% chance of success? I doubt it. Add to it, the expectations that today's women have are beyond absurd. We all joke about the sixes, but the reality is that is most women's expectation. You expect men to give, and offer nothing in return. I'm not saying any of this to be mean, but I am being blunt in hopes you'll hear it, because we've said it over and over and over again. And yet, you're still asking us, why are you walking away? That, in a nutshell, is the crux of the problem. You ask us, but you don't want to hear the response. And if you hear it, you don't want to accept it. My honest advice to you ladies is this. Get a mirror, look in it, and ask yourselves, what are we offering to men? Why should men want to be with us? And if your answer is things like you have a great career or job, or that you're going to cook and clean, none of that matters to us. Not in the least. What matters to us? Peace, loyalty, and acknowledgement. Something very, very few women give to their man. And until you're willing to give that, until you're willing to set aside your ridiculous expectations, those numbers you mentioned are only going to get worse.
Give this man a beer. Men are leaving relationships because there are no benefits other than for one side. Why is the divorce rate so high today? Why does a marriage last only 1 to 4 years? Because women are more committed to getting a ring than to wanting to be a good wife. Because they demand impossible things with their unrealistic standards, saying it's the minimum. Because divorce laws are what they are to be applied to men. Because in every divorce, men are the ones who lose everything. Because child support is biased, where the woman prohibits you from seeing your children but demands you pay support that never ends up being for the child. Because today's woman only wants to receive and believes she deserves everything, giving nothing but problems. Worst of all, we tell them, but none of them listen. That's why men are going their own way, because they understand that with these laws and this system established by the state, they will always lose. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Why do you think women always leave negative comments when they see a happily married woman? What do you think about chivalry? Why have men stopped helping modern women? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.